51. This is a horrible lesson that builds on the lesson on coordinates that we talked about before. So let's quickly, whoa, that was bad. Okay, let's quickly review. So this is which axis?
X.
The x-axis. This is the
Y.
y-axis. Welcome back. Thank you. Okay, if I wanted you to graph a point like 3, 5, you would go 3 in
5.
what letter?
3 is X.
And 5 in
Y.
y. So I go 3 in x, I go 5 in y. And then I see where they cross, which is that point right there.
Sweet.
Okay? What is one thing that I missed? You must label the axes. So you must put numbers here
Oh.
to indicate what each block means. If you don't do that, the whole problem is wrong.
Sweet.
You will receive no points.
Sweet.
At least up to 5. After that, I get the idea.
Lines.
How are you
Skills.
doing this? Wait.
Okay, so that's how we graph points. Now we are going to graph lines. What's a line?
A line.
It is a collection of points,
A line.
right? And it's usually straight. Yeah, it's a bunch of points and you line them up, right? Like in kindergarten where they're like, all right, line up everybody, and then everyone gets in a
So line.
line and it's generally
So lines
straight.
is also of kindergartners.
Yeah, like they're teaching kindergartners how to do algebra by saying get in a straight line instead of a like whatever. Okay, so here is what we must do. Our job today is to graph this. Y equals 2x minus 1. What does this mean? It means that I'm graphing all of the points, all of them, every single one of them. Not just like 1 point, not 2 points, all of the points. Where the y value of the point is 2 times the x value minus 1. Sound horrible?
Yes.
It's not. But if you overcomplicate it, it will be made horrible. Now here's the idea. If you have 2 points, you can draw this whole line. So you don't have to figure out all of them. You just need 2. Okay? For good measure, we're going to do 3. And so what we're going to do is we are going to make a table
Oh.
for every single one of these problems with your x values and your y values. You're going to use 3 x values every time. -1, 0, and 1. Because we're lazy. So we should use the same thing.
I actually remember this one.
So draw the table, then plug in the numbers. What is 2 times -1?
-2.
Everybody.
-2.
Everybody.
-2.
-1 is
1. Negative.
Negative 3.
-1. Sorry. -3.
Now let's plug in 0. 2 times 0 is
0.
-1 is.
-1.
When I plug in 1, what do I get? 2 times 1 is?
2.
-1 is
1.
1. Now these represent points. We already practiced graphing points last week. This is the point -1, -3. Where is that point? X is
-1.
-1. Y is
-3.
-3. Where do those two cross?
Right there.
Right there.
You just graph it.
X is 0, Y is -1. Where's X equal to 0?
On the middle.
On the Y axis, right?
Yeah.
When is Y equal to -1? Well, when Y equals -1, right there. Now, I have 1, 1. So I'm going to go 1 in X, 1 in Y. Where do they cross?
There.
Right there.
Registers.
Now, this is the most, or one of the most important parts.
Connecting the dots.
This is how they break. Do not move the dividers. Thank you. Leave them where they're at. I'm not surprised to find out when freshmen have broken the dividers. I am disappointed. And that's right. You know who you are. And I am disappointed in the broken barriers. Thank you. Do not move the barrier. I just asked you not to move. And now you're moving. Leave it where it was. Leave the barrier. Now you're moving it again. Oh dear.
Can I move?
Okay. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to, with a straight edge, I would encourage you to use a ruler or similar. Do not move the barrier. Nope, leave the barrier. If you physically need to move, then you can physically move to this spot. Do not move the barrier. Thank you. We are going to connect the dots. If you do it by hand, I will notice and take off points. This is actually a horrible straight edge.
I can help you.
No, thank you. That would violate our healthy school procedures.
I have a mask. Okay.
Are you kidding about the mask, or are you kidding about having one? I'm so confused. Okay. So that is your line. What are the steps? Make the table. X is -1, 0, 1. Solve for the y values. And then draw your line. Remember that on your graphs, you should at least show 1 through 5 on the x and y. You must write these numbers. You must also write x and y. Yes?
So if I'm right here, x is always going to be -1, 0, 1.
Yep,
Ah,
that's right. So let us graph another one. This one's a little bit harder. Actually, it's not. This is not a trick.
Wait, I can't.
Y equals 4. Now, are you ready? When does y equal 4? You go to y, and it says
4.
4. Where else does y equal 4?
X 4.
Does y equal 4 when x equals 1?
Yep. When x equals
Well, if y equals 4 and x equals 1, does y equal 4?
Yep.
Sure. When x equals 2 and y equals 4, do I have a point 2, 4? We don't care what x equals. Y equals 4. Y equals 4 is a line. It is all of the points where y equals 4. You ready? It is the set of points where y equals 4. Which is all of those. So when you get a y equals graph, you don't have to do this, although you could. You simply go to that y value and draw the line. Because y always equals 4 there. What about x equals -1? I go to where x equals -1. It's right there. Do I care what y value I have?
Nope.
No. X equals -1 there, x equals -1 there, x equals -1 there, 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 there. All of those points. Remember, we're collecting all the points together, and we're drawing a line to show that they're collected. They're better together, like our theme for the year. So that would be x equals -1. So anytime you have an x equals curve, it's going to be up and down. When you have y equals a number, it's going to be sideways. And then when you have a weird mix of x and y, you have to do this. Okay, that's your lesson. You may begin your homework again. Optional.